Welcome to Flesh and Pod, a flesh and blood podcast, breaking down weekly news and notes from the tournament scene, community drama, game strategy, and more. And now, here are your hosts, Darick and Logan.
Hello. Can't believe you weren't recording already.
You're such a dumb son of a bitch.
I know. I can't see it, but I can feel when you hit the button.
It's so frustrating.
He gets you every time.
90%. Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's not every time. It's like about this much.
I don't know why it's funny. But hello and welcome to episode 224 of Flesh and Pod. My name's Logan. I'm your host. With me, as with most of the time, is what are you today? The Ruler?
The Ruler.
Yeah, Darick Oswald. And joining us out of the Chargers Chamber of Charcoal, Trevor Baker. No, not that Trevor Baker. The other Trevor Baker, also known as Vintox in the Discord. Trevor, you fixed your shit. You can actually, do this now. It's wonderful.
Correction. You fixed it.
Well, right. But you still have to plug it in.
Yes, I can manage that.
Okay, well, I mean, the hardest part of doing anything is putting on the shoes. That's all it is. So nice work on getting that set up, and welcome to the show. Finally, good to have you. It's been a while. I mean, we did kind of leave you out in the cold a couple of times just due to circumstances, but how you been? How you doing? How are things? I guess I know how things are because you're local to me. So normally I know. Right.
Being left out in the cold comes along with the unwanted little brother syndrome.
I mean, you're not unwanted. You're just other than wanted. It's not the same.
No, it's the little brother that mom says, take him with you because just do it.
I thought the being left out in the cold came with the multiple plow shifts.
Well, there's that. That was very cold.
Yeah, this is I have a tea time on Friday because it's supposed to be 80. The feels like this morning when I had an appointment was negative 17. None of this is okay.
I got a tattoo with Sophie today, and
Another one?
it's a thing.
Right.
But when we were leaving, and I walked outside because I didn't wear a coat to it, because why would
You're
I?
a dipshit,
from the Midwest. I was like, man, I think that the air hurts worse than this tattoo did.
I had that too. I had that this morning because I had an appointment this morning, and I drove to it.
Couldn't have hurt as bad as your spoiler.
Ooh, I mean,
it was pretty close.
But yeah, it was. I got out of the car and I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Come on, man. And but at any rate, Charmer, did you cast the Riftbound event? What happened? I don't even know.
So, the short answer is no. The venue, and you might know this because you were there, but I don't know why you would know this unless you were trying to use the Wi-Fi or something. I don't know. But basically, the venue stopped being able to broadcast stuff because of internet issues there at the venue, and there was not a suitable workaround that would support the bandwidth necessary for broadcasts. They actually ran into the problem on Saturday. They were trying to stream, I think it was the Magic event on Saturday. Tournament. Yeah. Yep. And I was, because you get added to production discords and whatever, I was watching the discourse going back and forth, hoping that they would get stuff sorted out. And then I got the message late Saturday night, hey, we're really sorry, but the internet's down. The venue does not know when it will be able to be addressed. So no cast. So no Fab and no Riftbound was kind of a bummer of a weekend, which is why I treated myself to I don't know if it'll show up, but a crow tattoo.
A crow tattoo. That's
on
nice.
my wrist today.
Okay. Yeah, I was there.
You know what his name is?
Nope.
Tom Brokaw.
I hate you so much right now.
The guy when I got done, he was like, well, do you like it? And I said to Sophie, I was like, do you like it? She's like, yeah, it's great. And I said, yeah, I think it's awful. And
Logan, at least it wasn't Brandon Lee.
Well, yeah. R.I.P.
So, speaking of dad jokes,
fuck off.
Shout out to Papa Mike because I posted something earlier today, and he said, "My God, I desperately want Logan to discover this while recording the show." So at some point, for Mike, you need to wander on over to Chuckles with Charmer. It doesn't have to be now. I'm setting the expectation that at some point you need to wander over.
There are excessively few people that I would do this for. However, Papa Mike is on the list, so
I know.
I will do that. I also got notified that I have my first beer coming up soon, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So long story short, if you're in our Discord, there's a person in there with the handle Muse Josh. That's my buddy Josh, who is the lead brewer at a brewery in Des Moines, and one of the best breweries in the country, honestly, in my opinion. But they do a series of beers called Extinction Events, and they have 43 different varieties, I believe, as of right now. It's either 42 or 43. And the 9th one, I think it was, is my favorite. And so I told him he should rebrew that and then name it after me. And then he did. So I have my own beer as of April 1st. It's only available in the tap room in Des Moines.
And what is the name?
Logan's Run. Because it's my run of that version of the beer, which he turned into a triple to jack up the fucking
Okay,
ABV.
so
I thought he was more clever than that.
No, it was my idea to name it that. So he is more clever.
Wait, how long have we been friends, Logan?
Oh Christ!
You're trying to tell me after all of this time, all the shit you've given me, all of the eye rolls, the deep sighs, and you went with a pun.
I did. You're so proud of me right now.
I'm so proud of you.
Of course. But I was also...
You get a sound effect and everything.
I got all of it. I was also in Chicago area for the NRG event. The 5K stage event only had 23 players. So everybody sat down and cashed. Of the 23 players, 14 were on KO.
Oof.
There were 4 KOs in the top 8, but it ended up being Ira that ended up winning it. And then we Rune Blade cubed. But with the oncoming blizzard, we decided there's no way to stay for the Pro Quest and be reasonable about it. If it would have just been me and not had other people with me, I probably would have stayed. And if shit was bad, I would have just stayed with a friend. I have plenty in the city and been fine. But with, additional people with me, there's no reason to put anybody else's life or health in danger. So it turned into I would love to play in what is going to be a very small Pro Quest, since I'm not going to have many opportunities to qualify. Actually, no more opportunities to qualify for Vegas. So either I'm going to be obtaining a PTI or not playing in the Pro Tour in Vegas. Similarly, I had exactly 2 shots at when our top 4 on RTN. One of them I did on no fucking sleep and got regicided, and on camera, by the way. And the other one was right when Fatigue Pleiades was going to be 30% of the room I was going into, which eliminated my ability to play Kasai. And so, yeah, I had to play Valda, which I didn't know what I was doing. And I was like, I think I'd be good into Fatigue Pleiades with this Valda deck, and never played against it. Would have been great to play Kasai. So that being said, not qualifying for either of those is kind of shitty, for what it's worth, especially with Nationals kind of being in our backyard. Vegas being something that I'm pretty committed to going to due to, a lot of friends from overseas that are coming in, to hang out, and they kind of,
you in Vegas.
Oh yeah. They just want to get fucked up in Vegas with me. That's really what it is. So I'll be there anyway. It's fine. But, Energy is going to be doing another one of these events because, they're not ready to quit on this. And yeah, it was lightly attended. There's a lot of things that happened. It was the same day as numerous Pro Quests in the area, including MinMax's Pro Quest in Chicago proper. And then obviously the blizzard on Sunday had impacts as well. So you only had really people from Madison. Being up in Elmhurst kind of affected things in a negative way for people that are in the city because the metro doesn't go there. So I was talking to Summer, I believe she told me it took like it was like a 2-hour trip for her to get from, her place in downtown Chicago to, well, not downtown, but in the city to out to Elmhurst. And so, there's a lot of factors in that. But what people don't understand about what Nerd Rage does is they don't cheap out on anything. They want it to be the single best event that they can make it. So in this case, they flew in Elaine Cow from Montreal to judge the event. They were going to pay out the prizing regardless of attendance. They obtained everything needed to have a great event, and it was a great event outside of it being KO Fest because it was Sage. But a venue was great. I mean, everybody was obviously super pleasant, and unlike the Magic event in Washington, nobody got arrested on the event floor. So that's better, I guess. But
they've also already posted for judges in Judge Hub for their next event.
Yeah. And I believe it's Indianapolis in May. And we'll talk about that one too, because, and I really hope that we're, LSS, and I even talked to Charmer about this earlier today. I asked him if today was the day we turn heel on LSS. Like, is it going to be today?
I don't know if it's today, but I'm feeling a little tweenerish because the PvE thing really rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
As somebody who is very much like a big proponent of PvE.
Just jump into that. So what happened was... Hamish posted a meme about, it was the OK Grandpa meme where it said... I remember when LSS announced PvE, and basically it's like, that's okay, let's get you to your pills, Grandpa, or whatever it is, whatever that meme is. And then James White replied, we never announced PvE. And so then somebody hops in the comments with a screenshot from the Fab 2.0 announcement, which clearly states that PvE is coming. And James's reply was, that's not a product announcement. This is a product announcement. And it's like, he never... The point was never that you never announced a product. You announced PvE, and here are the receipts.
Here's the full bullet point from Fab 2.0. I'm going to read it word for word so that there's no like interjection of potential bias or whatever. Like, this is literally what was in the Fab 2.0, and it is a bullet point under. So the bigger heading was products tailor made for first play and social play experiences. The first bullet point was again back then about Rhinar versus Dorinthia, and that was supposed to be a nice intro to play product. And then we had a bullet point that said player versus environment PvE will be our flagship social play product. It will see players band together in campaign settings that can be as long or as short as your party wants. It's not about winning or losing, but having an epic adventure with friends and fellow gamers where swords, shields, pizza, and beers collide. We are putting a lot into our PvE and our expectation. Along with that, of many eagerly awaiting fans is very high. PvE is currently under development, and we are working hard to make it as good as possible. More information will be announced in the future. Now, that's the full thing. So I fully understand what James is saying, like that's not like a product announcement in like, hey, this is going to be hitting your shelves or whatever. But that is a lot. As somebody who is, like I said, I'm just like dying for a PvE format for this game. I own several, board games that are like just PvE. I own several campaign style board games. Like, it is something that I enjoy. My shelves are full of that kind of shit. So when I saw this originally, and even before this, I was, the bullet points talk about fans are eagerly awaiting this. I was one of them. So when I see that paragraph, like, it might not be a product announcement, but it sets an expectation, right? So to be like, well, we never announced it feels like pedantic at best, pretty disingenuous, like at worst, in my opinion, because it's not just like hey, it'd be one thing if the bullet was like, hey, we've heard that there's a lot of demand for this, we're looking into it internally, and nothing, right? Like, this is worded like a marketing blurb already. Like, the picture this paints is exactly what I think everyone, myself included, was hoping for, and that's why we were excited then, and many of us are still excited now. And so to hear something, if you're still excited now and you're waiting with bated breath for any sort of teaser, any sort of nugget, and then you have somebody say like, well, actually, we never announced it, whether it was the intention or not, it feels like a attempt at revisionism. It feels like it's trying to sweep it under the rug because it's either not close to coming out anytime soon, or they had to go back to the drawing board. And all of those things very well could be fair and true, and that's fine. But then just say that. But when it's just like, actually, we never announced it, it's like, okay, again, whether it's intended or not, what I took from that as somebody who's really excited for this is, actually, that's not really important to us, right? Actually, it's not something we're close to doing. Actually, even because if it was a close to doing it thing, it would be like, you could do something cheeky like see how well this meme holds up in 6 months, or whatever, right? But just to be like, actually, we never did that, just felt really bad. And I'm one of the biggest LSS apologists. We always say big trust. We always I always give them the benefit of the doubt, but that one hurt as somebody who is just like really excited for PvE stuff, to see that. So,
well, and worse than that, that post was after multiple things had been said before that. And for like 2 years, it was all that most of the looser, not less competitive community was talking about, and they've all just given up talking about it because at this point they're like, yeah, it's Firefly season 2,
which we're supposed to be getting an animated one, but
I know
that's gonna be really good. But and I even remember when Brian was on the show, one of the questions involved PvE, and he's like, there's nothing to tell. Like, that was his response. There's just nothing to say. And I was like, okay. Like, but to kind of have that gaslighting sort of pedantic response to that all, it feels like it's a slight to the people that were really hyped for it.
Well, and if there's nothing to say, there's nothing to say. But don't say you did.
No, what James said. We never announced that. It's like,
if there's nothing to say, there's nothing to say. But like, to say we never, again, like, I get it. Maybe an actual product saying like, this is hitting shelves, this will be the cost, this is what it, whatever, that might have been announced, might not have been announced. But when you start this paragraph off with the words will be our flagship social play product, and then later on you're saying we're putting a lot into PvE and our expectation along with that of many eagerly awaiting fans is high, and it's currently under development, and we're working hard to make it as good as possible. So it's going to be a flagship product that you have a lot of expectations on, and you're working hard to make it as good as possible, but also like you never announced it. Just feels bad.
I didn't know
like
Smash Palace was PvE.
It's not. That's the thing.
I do wonder I here's the thing. I do wonder if that maybe started as PvE and got repurposed at some point or something. I
feel like it has to be.
But yeah, I just, again, normally transparency is LSS's strong suit, and it's one of the reasons that I've championed them so much in the past. Comparatively to other games in the space, they have been very like open and honest about stuff, and that's what I love about it. But, and again, I'm probably only miffed because this is something that I'm personally invested in. Like, I really want a PvE game mode, and I want it to be good, and to get like that sucked.
Yeah, and I would there's other things too, like the cosplay contest stuff, but I would rather do that with like Max or
Yeah, I was going to say
or something like that on the show to talk about it with us.
Yeah, I know the cosplay discourse has picked up again, and I always say that it is okay in life to say I don't know enough about something to have an opinion. I think more people would
be better off if they did. Yeah.
If they could just be honest, and that's just the truth. What I know is this. I don't know enough about the actual specifics to have an opinion, but what I do know is that people that have a lot more experience with the whole cosplay thing than I do, they seem to be upset. And so I would err on the side of the experts typically.
Correct.
Right. But
yep.
I don't know enough.
I feel like in recent memory, the organized play has slipped. Where I think that certain things have gotten better, like the tournament packs are an absolute home run. They are incredible. Josh, if you're listening, I obtained a bunch of puzzle pieces for you this weekend. You're fucking welcome. But no duplicates. And
did you get any feet?
I think I did. I think I got Victor
those are the
feet.
Expensive ones.
I think I got Victor feet, so the horse feet. And listen, they're good for glue. And what? But but when you think about things like Pro Tour 1 or even Worlds in Barcelona or anything, well, I wasn't there. Thank you. You don't need to remind me, Darick. But where like at Pro Tour 1, it was this giant banquet for all the players celebrating. They did it again at the next Pro Tour. They used to do these more, like, lavish is the wrong word, but these more unique things that made it gave it more of a community oriented feel to the game. And I think that has slipped. And
you think they're spread thinner? That's why.
I think that could definitely be part of it. I think part of expanding is exactly that, is cutting, part of the expansion of callings and making, so many more across the board. That budget has to come from somewhere. I think that there's, they're obviously changing, making a lot of changes with who is running these events. And so there's going to be growing pains with them.
I was going to say, if I had to guess personally, I think that the ease of organizing the events has probably went way down. Like complexity is up just because of
the globe
nature of the globe, right? Like it's going to make it hard, but also, and I don't think that, this gets talked about enough though. Right. But like LSS, just like as a company and as a brand, is growing. And I think that with a lot of those earlier events, it also just felt like James was incredibly involved with them. And we know that he's passionate about the game, and it reflects when he is involved. And I do wonder if, as things continue to grow, his attention is just pulled in other directions, and some of those like finer touches get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah. But we're also, and like the other thing is, and again, I would talk about this at length if I had more time to formulate exactly what I wanted to say or how I wanted to say it, but it felt like even support, and we're boomers, right? Like this show has been around a long time. I can name probably a dozen shows that were, that started around the same time as us or slightly before and slightly after, that are just gone. Like those people they're not even involved in Flesh and Blood anymore.
Flagship shows.
Right. Sure. The tent poles of the time.
Right.
And the support for content creators used to be enormous. We were, because there weren't hundreds of us, they supported all of us in different ways and gave us lines into the business, and it was great. And now, because of the immense growth of the content sphere, they pulled back on that too, and decided to create no longer has the big tent feel. It's a bunch of smaller tents that are just out everywhere. And then there are the ones that are specifically under the LSS tent, and so that feels different. And I don't know what I would do differently. And that's why I don't really want to spend a lot of time on it. But
you wouldn't do anything differently.
Well, no, what I mean is, like, if I were in LSS's position, Like, what would I do to re-engender that feeling? And I hate complaining about something without a solution to recommend, because that's just somebody screaming at clouds, and that doesn't help. And if you just complain about something with no offered solution or ideas, you're just complaining to hear yourself talk, and that doesn't help anybody.
Helps me.
Okay, well, there is you.
I have a recommendation. Give us PvE.
That would help. But there isn't PvE. What there are callings, and that's what we call a segue, or a segue. But there was a calling this weekend in Brisbane, Australia. There were 195 players. Again, I'm tracking that as a way to understand what sizing looks like going forward for a lot of events. Obviously talk about 23 players in the NRG event, which had, 2 PTIs. People, kind of I think people just didn't understand the event, but c'est la vie. But 195 players, won by Nick Malev on Ocilio. So pretty good there. Top 8 was very diverse, 7 different heroes. There was the one Ocilio, there's 2 Victors, a Huntsman, a Gravy, a Dash, a Marionette, and a Pleiades. So very diverse. Huntsman and Victor were kind of the breakouts for this event. Lots of really, really, really good Huntsman play that he didn't get to see any of them on day 1 because they were declining to be on camera. Kind of didn't want to show the sauce, so to speak. But on day 2, there was a few Huntsman matches to watch. So you should, if you haven't watched those, you should. It's a very, I wouldn't say it's a different take on Huntsman, but it's it's interesting how good. It's interesting to consider that the new Assassin arms from Compendium are just Valiant Dynamos for Assassin. Like, straight
Is this the one where Pablo was going crazy?
Oh, yeah.
On Huntsman?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's just
those were good games.
Well, that was 2 weeks ago. This week was a bunch of other people, I believe. But Pablo put a guide out, and so I think a lot of people picked it up. But basically, because of Hunter or Hunted, those gloves just turn into, Valiant Dynamos. You get 6-7 value out of them. So now Assassin gets a Blood Debtless Carrion Husk. Hooray! There was also a showdown, 98 players, Sage, won by Emma Hollingsworth on Dash. But the outlying problem, there were 4 KOs in the top 8, a Dash, an Oldham, and Ira, and a Riptide. So KO is pretty much the hive mind best deck.
Green boys go boom.
I was playing a Dorinthia build in NRG, specifically trying to target KO. And nope, like that, it got it closer, but it wasn't enough. It just is so punishing, where they're just like, oh, well, I have this beaten tracker's turn, so here's 18. Oh, I drew a Buck Wild and a Wild Drive. Here's 18. On and on and on and on. And it's like, what can you do about this? Well, not much, because all of these cards are in the KO Sage Precon. So what are you going to do? But
a lot of LL.
I mean, there's no LL in Sage. But so right now it's like, but Briar was able to kind of race it enough to keep it not being the most obnoxious thing. And then Briar was a little easier to target and had the problem of drawing Runeblade hands. So now it just turns into, we get a bunch of KOs, and that's the new chain. Great. And this kind of speaks, I think, to a larger, what is it? Is it important? Do you need to get that? But speaks to a larger issue with Sage, where if you overtune one knob just slightly, you're going to fuck the whole thing, which is bad. Like, not good.
Not good.
And they keep trying, and nope, that ain't it. Next. So I don't know what the fixes are there either, outside of you can keep trying to ban cards. You can hope that benching handles a lot of the problems. I think there just needs to be further curation. That's really it, because having half the room or even 30% of the room or anything else be KOs is just obnoxious. It just isn't. It isn't fun. Any other takes?
I literally spent the entire last armory getting beat up by KOs and Sage. I agree with everything you said.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, I was going to say I think it's hard to disagree. Sage feels like, at least after this last round of adjustments, it's been solved. Or if not solved enough that the meta will, just like we always talk about economically, there's, price memory, there is like meta memory as well. And so even if there is room for iteration, like I never think that anything is truly 100% solved. It's solved enough that this is like your expectation for any event going forward in the immediate future. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. Moving on, ProQuest Week 4 results, but only one big piece of news. No more feed on your timeline. Verdance has gone to the glue factory. Achieved.
I'm so happy about that.
Guardian players are dancing in the streets of Coruscant and tearing down statues of the Emperor as we speak. It was the one like real thing holding like the Fatigues Nuts deck back, and basically Guardian players are like, hold on, we're unbanned, we can do things again. And it's like, yep, here you go, this is yours.
Well, what's that mean for Huntsman now,
Darick?
I think that Huntsman I already thought Huntsman was competitive. I think we're going to hit an era where Huntsman is going to be incredibly powerful in the right person's hands and will also annoy the shit out of people if they run into inexperienced players, because it's not, as weird as it sounds, it's not necessarily an easy deck to pilot, and it's definitely not something that you can just like pick up and take to a big event and not run into clock issues, especially if you're just jamming a bunch of games on Talishar where it does a lot of the board keeping, record keeping for you. Because when you're like, hey, I play this attack with contract, and then they have to show you the card, and then you have to make the decision, and then maybe they put it on the bottom, and then your thing hits, and then you resolve the contract, and maybe you make a silver, right? Like it doesn't seem, because it's not an ally class, like there's a lot of stuff to keep track of on the board, but there is. And then when you're factoring in, like, I'm getting my equipment back here and there, and all of the little things, it just adds up. And it's not a deck that is meant to win quickly, right? It is something that even if it's not fatiguing your opponent, the games are going to go long. You don't have a lot of true burst turns. Occasionally, like, the stars align and you have a really good coercion where you can go like, that out of Arsenal and 4 0-for-4s or whatever. But even that's like not anything to write home about. It's just like the best thing you're doing with a Huntsman turn. So I feel like it's one of those decks where if people are picking it up and they haven't put in physical reps on it, you could have games going to time if you're not familiar with it, especially at larger events, or especially if you're running into, like, you might pick it up and you might play some games even in person. But then when you go to a calling or something, if you run into, an off the wall deck you're not used to playing against, right? Like, one of the things that you have to factor in, right, is if you're just not expecting to see Levia because you're like, oh, well, she died when Claws went away, and then you play against a Levia and they start showing you cards. Well, now you have to think like extra hard about, like, do I want to bottom this or not? Because it's not always just about the contract. It's also about keeping power pieces away from them, right? It's also about paying attention to your opponent to see, are they pitch stacking, and what can you do to disrupt their pitch stack, to mess up their math or throw off their end game? Like, again, there's a lot to it. So I think that it's very powerful. I think that it's in the best spot it's been in a long time, with the Earth Heroes not being an immediate thorn in the side because you're not like just making them better. I also think that the rise of Dio in popularity and performance is helping the deck as well. because if you can survive the burst, that's a very easy deck to fatigue. So it's in a good spot. But I could also see a situation where a bunch of people hate running into it, because if you're running into people who don't know how to play also for the clock, you're going to have draws and nobody's happy when that happens.
Especially if you added a bunch of guardians.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
It reminds me of like 15 years ago or more. There was a legacy Magic player that played nothing but High Tide. And they were so concerned with clock management that they would like resolve a ponder, which required you to draw 3 cards, put 1 to your hand and 2 on the bottom, or shuffle and then draw a fresh card. They would resolve that with their left hand while doing all of the other mana manipulation stuff with their right hand. And it was just like, how? Like, what the fuck? But they just sat there and practiced it over and over and over again so they could do 2 things at once and they wouldn't go to time. And I was like, this is nuts. But that kind of reminds me of that, where you have to be an expert at manipulating the moving parts of the deck, or you're going to risk going to time. Easy enough. Moving on, we gleaned very briefly over Omens of the Third Age last episode with Josh here. Didn't want to make him talk about shit that he hadn't looked at in a year. But we're here to just talk about it now, because I don't know, reasons we usually talk about shit. So let's start off with the kind of the obvious low-hanging fruits here. First off, there are no elemental cards in this set. It is a lightning set, not an elemental set. So that is a key difference. So all of the elemental cards, elemental wizard cards, elemental runeblade cards, are not eligible to be played by these heroes, because they are not elemental heroes. They are lightning heroes. There are some really, really good lightning cards in this. Astral Strike is kind of nuts. It's a 1-for-5 that when this attacks, if you've destroyed a lightning flow this turn, and lightning flows do not do anything on their own. They are just a token that sits on the battlefield. They don't have any purpose outside of that. They don't have any text. They are just flows of lightning. When this attacks, if you've destroyed a lightning flow this turn, which all of the hero abilities do, choose one, draw a card. This gets +2 power, and this gets go again. So we're back to, all these strike things, and this might be the same donkey that we see plunging toilets to in the art. I'm not 100% sure.
It's in lightning strike.
You're fired. Next one is Flow State Embodiment. Stop me if you've heard this. It's a 0-for-4 lightning action attack, but this one blocks 3. So it's a red pitch. Whenever you play an instant card, this chain link, create an embodiment of lightning or a lightning flow token. This one's actually just insanely good, by the way. If you're wondering, this is incredibly good. Then there's Flowing Storm Strike. Again, stop me if you've heard this. It's a 0-for-4 lightning action attack, red pitch. This has twice per turn instant. You can pay a resource to give it +1, so basically you can make it into a 2-for-6. And when this hits, create a lightning flow token. Again, very good. Very, very flavorful, very enabling. Next one is Meteoric Rise. It's a 1-for-5, same shit. You can pump it. And then your Voltic Impact was a 2-for-6 for the same thing. So what do these heroes do with lightning flow? Well, glad you asked. We're going to start with everybody's favorite, Aurora. Because, why not? Aurora's a 440 lightning runeblade hero with instant pay to tap her, destroy a lightning flow you control, create an embodiment of lightning. So that's what she does with lightning flows, is she makes embodiment of lightnings. She basically has similar text to the original Aurora in that way. Biggest difference, can't really play the elemental cards. They kind of show that off with the one card they spoiled directly for her, which is Voltbound Duality, which is a lightning runeblade attack, 0-for-4, block 3, red pitch. But this has instant discard this, deal 1 arcane damage to target hero, create a lightning flow token. It doesn't have to hit to create the flow token, it just does it. Pretty good. Comes in red, yellow, and blue. Any thoughts on new Aurora? This kind of seems like old Aurora.
The art is sick.
The art is sick.
The art is fantastic.
It is the same artist too.
I like the depiction of the sword on the Legacy of Tempest. Like the sword just looks, I don't know, thicker. It's like a big broadsword.
Oh, really? Thicker?
I can't wait to see what the new sword does.
Big veiny sword.
I will say, while it does feel similar to the last one, it is kind of nice that you also have to jump through the hoop of like having the lightning flow.
Yeah.
Right. So I suspect one of the ways that they are going to attempt to make this a little bit fairer or a little more powered down is, in the past, all of the old Aurora stuff was kind of like, did you play an instant this chain link? And I think this time it's going to be essentially using these flow tokens to pay for things, and you will have to make more decisions, right? So not only does it power it down, but then it rewards player skill through the micro decision inclusion. Again, don't know for sure, but that's kind of my reach right now, and I think that would be a great way to go about it.
Yeah, I could see that, and it does seem like a slowed down version of Aurora,
which was necessary.
Yeah, but you're going to run into a lot of the same. I think you're still going to run into a lot of the same problems you had with Aurora before. Like, but you can't. Important safety tip: they don't get to play Entwine Lightning to just have a 0-for-4 free go again. So that's nice, considering that's elemental. They don't get Arcanic Shockwave for the free damage. So there are definitely some trade offs here. But it still seems like it's going to be a bunch of 0-for-4s, a limited amount of blues to try to fuel the ability. My guess is it would play blue Voltbound dualities, because if nothing else, you can just pitch one to discard the other to deal an arcane, make a lightning flow, and then make your embodiment and pass. And you can do that at instant speed. So you can do that after your opponent's played their turn, so you can sneak in a free damage and make your embodiment for your turn that's coming up. Like, there's a whole lot of good things going on with Aurora. So I'm very interested to see how she ends up playing, because I think it could be somewhat different, a little more combo-y, but I can also see just, waiting for your opponent to get done with their turn. It's like, hey, do you have any floating? Do you have anything in your hand? Great. CLV, discard a Voltbound duality, deal the one arcane, draw a card, make an embodiment, tap it to make the lightning flow, tap it to give me the embodiment of lightning. Are we pod racing yet? It's like, God damn it. Yeah, I guess.
I mean, Runeblades live and die by their swords, so
it's true.
I will hold off until I see their sword to make any kind of judgment.
Yeah, considering Starfall will not be legal. Like, that is a good point.
And yeah, it doesn't have Thorn, doesn't have Starfall. Like, most of the things that make sense for Aurora are gone. So, like, the sword's going to play a big part of it.
It will. Yeah, no, it's 100%. It's like, that's a very good point. Next up, we have Swolcilio, Brocilio, or this one's OFC, so of fucking course. And this is a 438 Lightning Wizard hero. This is instant, destroy a lightning flow you control, discard a card, and create a ponder. If an instant is discarded this way, you may play it this turn, so it's not even a discard.
I also like that slowdown.
It's a really good slowdown, and I think that one is very important. This art is disgustingly cool, but homie skipped leg day. That's all I got to say about Brocilio over here.
Did you look at the Marvel version?
The Marvel Young one? Yeah. There's no legs.
Yeah. There's no legs, but that is sweet.
Oh, let's go.
It gives, for me, it gives very strong either like Genie vibes or like the Archons from StarCraft.
Yeah, Archons.
StarCraft, come on. You got to go with the StarCraft.
That's like a StarCraft reference, but so Acilio's young version is
more pylons.
That's right. Construct additional pylons, dick. But Acilio's young version name in this one is Ocilio, Scion of the Third Age. Aurora's is Aurora, Emissary of Lightning. Still very cool. This one, the card they revealed is a red, white, blue. Yay, America. Is a red, yellow, blue rainbow. It's a 0 cost. It's a zap. Like, it's a zap. It's 0/3 arcane, blocks for 3, instant discard, deal an arcane. That's what all of these dualities do. But this is just a zap because we needed more zap. Sure. Sounds great.
But this is a zap that creates a lightning flow token.
But not if you zap it.
Well, that's true.
And as of right now, Brosilia would still be able to play Volzar or whatever the lightning, whatever current Osilio's weapon is. And now
It's true.
we get to David Bowie. We have Ziggy Star Light. Not Ziggy Star Dust because they don't want to get sued.
Spelled different.
Yes, also spelled different. So many Y's. So many G's. No vowels. But Lightning Illusionist Hero, 440. This one's destroy a lightning flow you control, banish another lightning or a permanent you control with no hollow counters. Return this banished aura to the arena with a hollow counter. So basically rebuys auras. If you know anything about illusionists, they like to play auras like Arc Lightning.
Yeah.
You keep pronouncing wizard wrong.
Yeah, I know, right?
They're,
That is definitely what it feels like.
They're Gen Z players. That's why I don't like illusionists, because they're aura farming.
I mean, I can't argue with that.
I'm never going to be able to not hear that again.
Yep, they're just they're Zoomers.
Every
babe.
time I see an illusionist, and most of the illusionists in our locals are pretty.
Yeah,
That's why they get the most
Yeah.
Marvels too. There's Marvel Angels, Marvel Dragons. It's just all aura farming.
I wish I could disagree with you, but I can't. You're right. It is. This is the only one we know the weapon for as well. This is Aphrodisius, or Aphrodisius. I don't really know. It's a lightning illusionist weapon orb. They're orbologists though. Yeah. Me look.
They like them crystal balls.
Nice.
Te gusta. Listen, I've been pilled. It's fine. Definitely an orbologist. This is instant. One resource tap. Deal 2 arcane damage to target hero. Activate this only if an aura with a hollow counter has entered the arena under your control this turn. So it's pitch a blue, do the thing, shoot people. Seems fine. But it's interesting to me that they made Ziggy Stardust, which is David Bowie, and then gave them the crystal ball from Labyrinth as the weapon. How many more references do we get?
Hopefully, all of the references, because David Bowie is awesome.
Nice.
I hope that there's like something that allows it to kill an ally, and the card is another one bites the dust.
That's Queen.
I was very disappointed because the armory immediately following this coming out, I was like, yeah, it's Ziggy Stardust, and everyone went, huh? I was like, I hate all of you. Get out.
Yeah, get out. But
and of course I said something in the Discord, and Bergie was like, "Oh yeah, if I'd have been there, I'd have had your back."
Yeah,
like,
the 21-year-old. Yeah,
you weren't Bergie. You weren't here.
I'm sorry. I always forget. It's Pressure is the song that Bowie does with
Under
Queen.
Pressure. Yes.
Yeah, the Vanilla Ice song. Got it.
No, because if you watch the MTV interview where he was trying to get out of the lawsuit, he's like, their song goes dun 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 dun, and mine's more like dun 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 dun. It's one of the funniest things you've ever fucking seen.
I was at a restaurant the other day, and Under Pressure was on, but I could barely hear it because I'm deaf already, and restaurant loud. And I was like, "Oh, they're playing Vanilla Ice," and then a couple seconds into it, I was like, "That's Under Pressure. That just happened."
You need to check yourself into a home, old man.
Well, lots of loud noises around.
I understand, but the duality for our friend Ziggy Starlight is still has the duality text of discarding to deal arcane and create a lightning flow. But this is a 2 for 7 2 for 6, 2 for 5 rainbow. Lightning Illusionist attack that blocks 3. Has Fragment, which is new. Whenever a card with 2 or more defense defends this gets -2. So if you sink below this, you only take 1. So neat. That's kind of a nice little play on Illusionist. Makes it a little more fair in general. Nice. Sorry, I keep doing this because of Orvology.
I like that they immediately put out 3 different versions of Lightning Flow counters because they knew everybody would want to pair them to their person.
Mm-hmm.
And Acilio is blue, Aurora is purple, and Ziggy is the blue-purple mix.
Right.
Just like their characters. It's great.
Now for some
Good
bullshit. The Armory deck, we have 1 card revealed. It is Stardust Spike. It is a Lightning Illusionist instant aura. Remember, we get to bounce these, by the way. When this leaves the arena, gain a resource and amp 1. Fuck off. And has Ward 2. This is wizard shit. This isn't illusionist shit. I don't know. I don't think I like this. Just gonna go ahead and throw that out there. Don't think I'm a fan. What's your take?
Just what we need. More Illusionist Ward.
And wizard
this one
shit.
amps.
Yeah, and
all on one card.
And refunds you a resource on Ziggy's ability.
Yes, all on one card.
Yeah, it's great. What could possibly go wrong?
All right. They're gonna tell us they're gonna come back and tell us they forgot to put bullet points on it.
Oh, God damn it. I hope not.
I'm sorry, was that too soon?
No, it's right on time.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're getting close to talking about Astral Strike, so
we've already talked about Astral Strike, but yes, same shit. Dude with Plunger. One other thing of note, they did show off one of the next calling promos for the promo events in the calling. It's a Razor Reflex.
And it looks really cool.
The art's by Eswardi. Shocking. It looks really cool. The fact that the guy that's getting fucked, you can see the reflection in the swords, and that dude looks like he got surprised by something very unpleasant.
Who do we think the character in the art is?
I've seen a lot of takes.
I have theories.
I want it to be adult Benji. And I want adult.
You read my post.
I do want it to be Assassin Ninja Benji.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty perfect, honestly.
Thanks for jumping on my bandwagon.
Yeah, I think I'm on this one.
Yeah.
I'm with you on this one. I want Benji Tarantula toxining people.
And if you look at him, the art absolutely could be adult Benji.
Yeah, 100% could. So I'm in on that, but I doubt that we get that. But it'd be really cool if we did.
The last time we saw Benji was in Outsiders, and he was walking around the pits.
That's true.
It fits the lore. And there is a Mistveil assassin in Ozuri who went to the pits and became a pits character that he runs into in the lore.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and
so
she's a
absolutely
ninja
could
originally.
get brought in.
Yeah,
absolutely could get brought in and become a assassin ninja. And now they're letting us do dual class, so could totally happen. Should totally happen.
I mean, I'm in on it. I'm here for it. We have hit that point in the show. Trevor, you have paid your dues multiple times at this point. Your guest, it's your time. What do you got?
Okay, I imagine this will not take very long because you are going to hate it. And I have nothing to say. But my thing to bring up this time is about Ranger.
Okay.
So you know that I am a big fan of Riptide.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I very much do not like that Ranger is pigeonholed into only being bow characters.
Okay.
Case in point, in a lot of fantasy settings, Rangers are any number of things, including bows. They could be knives, they could be traps, they could be survivalists in general, right? The fact that in our game they have to just be bows and everything has to revolve around bows, especially when they create new archetypes, drives me crazy because I absolutely love my offense revolves around my defense playstyle. That's why I built my Riptide deck, which for those that don't know is Talishar Riptide. It's not great, but that's because without more things for that archetype that they started out on, you cannot do it because all Rangers have is bows or you have to use generics. And I'm not even saying give me a knife or something like, because I've talked to you about this before, and your main thing is like, well, isn't that just a warrior? Well, it doesn't have to be a knife, or give me a non-weapon weapon that's just like disruption or something like that.
See, mine
give
is
me
always
something that plays into that play style of I want to tick away at you with my defense.
See, I've always wanted butt stroke on the weapon.
Oh yeah,
where it's just like 2 resources attacks for 1, so you smash somebody in the face with it, with a bow.
You know what I want? I want as a weapon it to be some sort of trap setter, and unlike the hood, the weapon creates a second arsenal zone for you. You have to put your traps in it face up, but if they walk into it, they take an extra damage for it.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I don't need. I'm not saying it needs to be. Hey, give my ranger a knife or a sword and make it just an assassin. Although a trap centric assassin would be cool, and I would totally play it. But give me some type of disruption, or like you said, a trap setter that buffs up the traps. Like let me. If you give me the archetype, let me play the archetype.
Right. Or like also thinking about specializations. There could be Riptide specializations or just another ranger that also cares about traps or whatever. But you could have cards that basically work like your lace widths, but for traps. So you could have coat your trap in blood rot. And it could literally be like lace with blood rot. And it just says, the next trap that triggers does 3 extra damage and gives a blood rot. But to make it fair, though, instead of next trap that triggers, you could say, during your opponent's next turn, if a trap, the next or the first trap that triggers or whatever does its thing. Because then you have your opponent go, okay, do I want to walk into it? Right? Do I want to take a turn off? Right? It gives them agency as well. Maybe they want to make you waste your buffs. Maybe you can play it as a bluff to make them take a turn off. I think that
build a perfect mousetrap.
Yeah, I think that there are things that could be explored there where you could do something fun additionally with traps to make it more than just like, here's an extra point of damage to Riptide or whatever.
That's not bad. I think I kind of like that.
And for me, it's just, I love that play style. And it's like, I hate when they're like, here's an archetype, but you have to play it like this. It's like, why? Why are you pigeonholing this thing that you like gave it to me in a little bit and then we're like, but not really.
I do also think they need to go ahead and print another generic weapon at some point soon. If you want Talishar Riptide reps or advice, just talk to Jesse Harper. Should be Orc Knight in the Discord. He can guide you all the way through Talishar anything. Motherfucker used to play Talishar Lexi. But
I took it to the Living Legend calling at Worlds.
You did, yeah.
And got a win.
You did get a win against, I believe, was it one of our listeners? I can't remember, but
I don't. Maybe.
Anyway, I like that.
That's my thing. Give me build into my archetype for Ranger that isn't just Bowcaster.
Sure. Bowcaster would be awesome though. Like a Wookiee Bowcaster, I'm in. But
True.
All right, it's time for some listener questions. Let's get into these really quick. First one's from Aladoris. If illusionists get lightning and brutes get earth, nope. What class gets ice? Necromancer or pirate? Neither. Ninja. Sub-Zero.
Yeah. It's got to be ninja.
Sub-Zero.
I'll maybe accept assassin as a stand-in, but it really should be ninja. And it needs to be Sub-Zero.
Assassin ninja.
Could be
That's
a set where that works in both or whatever. But I need it. I need Sub-Zero, and I also was thinking about neat things you could do if you were trying to do like an ice ninja. And I was thinking about some of the draconic cards that exist, and I was like, what would they look like if they were flipped, right? Ice cards. And so you could have like chain enders, like cards with rupture, for example, that maybe the card doesn't do damage, but instead says like
Frostbite.
rupture, but you get frostbite tokens equal to the number of chain links you had this turn or whatever.
Or
right?
freezes
Like
your equipment.
yeah, or freezes equipment or does whatever. Like I'm all in for that. Give me Sub-Zero.
Yeah, and I need one of like their legendary specialization just to be finish him. But
Yeah, Necromancer
The card art is ripping the spine out.
yeah, right. Easy.
I'm just gonna save it right now. We're not gonna get another Necromancer or Pirate thing with a tag, if you will, until we get Mystic, because it's got to be extra broken, and so it's gonna be like the Mystic Necromancer.
Yeah.
I love that, but also makes me so sad.
Not great.
Give me more pirates. Give me more pirates.
Fine, Mystic Pirate and Shadow Necromancer.
There we go. Next
Gross.
one's from Maggie23. Do you think they'll ever go back to non-talented / dual class heroes? Yes,
I do.
Yes. They
Assassin ninja.
I hope so. They did do, obviously pirate mechanologist, pirate ranger, pirate necromancer, and thief and pirate thief. But
An illusionist wizard.
yeah, they did, but they didn't call it that.
True.
So yeah, I do think they will. We finally with KO going out, finally got a non-Arcane Rising, non-talented hero to LL, which was nice to see. It just took, however many years. But I think they do. I think there will be kind of a return to normalcy, and some of that might be dual classing.
So here's my pitch for potential dual classes, right? I think Assassin Ninja does potentially make sense. I think something like Warrior Brute could be very cool.
Nah.
Yeah.
Warrior Wizard, but sure.
No, a Brute with that's weapon focused though, right? Like we've already kind of seen it with Leviah with the claws and whatever, but you work that in. I think there could be something fun there.
Warrior Wizard, you mean Bolton?
No.
But still, the other one that really jumps out to me that I think could be a lot of potential fun, Ranger Mechanologist. Ranger with a gun.
Bowcaster.
Yeah, give me a bowcaster, give me a mechanical crossbow.
And we pulled him back in.
Give Marlin an actual cannon.
Well, yeah. Cannons.
Yeah.
All right. I'm okay with all that. Next one's from Rogue.noob. Why does Ziggy seem to be more wizardly than the last two wizards we have had? I don't know that I agree with that. I think both Verdance and Acilio are very wizardy when they're doing exactly
Especially
wizard.
Acilio.
Yeah, especially Acilio. But when they do play attack actions, but so will Ziggy. It is what it is.
So did Icelander.
Right. Well, once they got figured out, yes. So I don't know that it seems to be more wizardy than the last two wizards. I think it's as wizardy, which is bad because it's an illusionist.
Yeah. I think it just feels that way because of artistic theming, and I know that there's probably going to be a fair amount of, for lack of a better way to describe it, ping damage with Ziggy. I don't expect it to be you're amped up stuff that normally does 5 and then you've amped 3 times, so you got 8 arcane coming. I don't think it'll be like that. I do think it'll be a lot of pings for 1 or 2 with a little bit of amp. But honestly, if you have been around long enough and you played against OG Prism, there were times where that's what it felt like to play against her anyway, just because of
Merciless Retribution. Yeah.
So you kind of get used to it.
You played
I was just like,
AB1.
oh.
Yeah, you played AB1 into Prism.
Yeah. Like that was standard.
Mm-hmm.
I think LSS just wanted a second all arcane set, so they made it happen.
I mean, they did. This is an all arcane set again. Last one's from Quiet Mind 42, who I got to meet in Chicago, by the way. Really great, really nice guy. He made me sign a scrap trader because he said it looked like me due to the long white beard. Any rate, if they removed all class restrictions on equipment or weapons, what's the most broken thing you could do with the current CC legal card pool?
Tiana.
It was put up in our Discord already, I'm pretty sure. Where was it? Oh,
It's in the Chuckles with Charmer.
Verdant's
page.
grabbing Kraken Aether Vein, about to send Fire Breathing for 900.
Except Verdance is not in the
Not
current pool
anymore. So that would have been busted. What would it be outside of that?
Cilio about to send.
Yeah. No shit. Because Kraken Aether Vein, like Ocilio can play Kraken Aether Vein, right?
Right. So
I think without fail, it's Kraken Aether Vein centric.
Yeah. Like, but you don't really need to remove the class restriction for Ocilio to be able to do this.
You just have to unban.
Yeah, you just have to make this, legal.
Well, I mean, there's some amp stuff in Earth though. So like being able to channel the amp tree your Aether Vein plays feels pretty good.
Yeah, but we don't have any Earth heroes that are legal anymore outside of Jarl. And
so the Earth heroes aren't legal, but the cards are. So we're talking about the current CC pool.
He said all class restrictions on equipment and weapons, not all class restrictions.
No, if they removed all class restrictions on equipment and weapons.
Right.
Yeah.
So with current, so you could play Kraken's Aether Vein in Kasai, would be an example. You could play Carrion Husk in Jarl.
Oh, I see.
Right. You can't play Earth cards in a wizard, in a lightning deck.
Okay. I'm not star of the showing yet. Like,
no, it's not that.
All right. So just equipment. It's got to be something stupid like giving Jarl access to Olympia's equipment suite, right?
Right. I mean,
or something like that where you're just gonna have
it'd be Victor with all the golden equipment.
Yeah.
Fuck,
it's got to be that.
Absolutely not. Yeah, Victor just gets to have all the golden equipment, and can he have? Is there a better weapon to give Victor than the Guardian weapons, or is there a better one hand that exists?
How does the horse wear Olympia's armor?
I don't know.
Ask Bethesda about horse armor.
Bethesda has that on lock. I need a one-handed weapon. There we go. Search. All right, what do we got?
All of the assassin weapons.
Kadachi's not good enough. An Orbitoclast.
Warrior's got a couple one hands, don't they? Yeah, Kasai's sword.
That's not legal, thank God. Yeah, I'm just trying to look here. What would be the most egregious thing? It probably is. Actually, it's the assassin weapons. So you could have it be, or like I said, Orbitoclast is really good. When this hits a hero, one or more non-attacks, they get -1, so it makes all your shit even more painful. Or Graven's Call, but you'd have to have silvers, not gold.
Winter's Wail.
Not legal in CC.
It's not legal in CC. Yeah,
not legal in CC.
That would be a good one.
Yeah, that'd be an insane one.
Give him frostbites and then arcane, all the arcane damage.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, Savage Claw would be fine. Yeah, I think you're right though. I think it has to be Victor with Olympia's armor suite, because you could cast homes for 1,000 every turn.
Yeah,
just do stupid shit. But yep. All right, well, that was fun. We should do it again sometime.
Logan, you need to go. You need to go to the channel and see the thing.
Fucking Christ! I was hoping I got away with nobody reminding me. Okay.
You can't do that to Papa Mike.
I shouldn't do that to Papa Mike. Oh, fucking Christ!
Captive Goat even tried to bury it with more ridiculousness.
Okay. This channel's redeemed itself a little bit. All right. Well, if you're not in our Discord, I'm not describing this to you. You have to go look at it yourself. I'm not describing it, but it is actually funny. The one that Captive Goat, who is on the mend from an operation, was trying to one up with was you're in her DMs. I'm licking cinnamon butter off her toes in Texas Roadhouse, which that's a choice. But okay, fine.
Feet.
You got me on this one. I'm going to actually hit the Charm Brain React so people knew I was there, and I'm going to move on. But thank you for that, Papa Mike. I appreciate you. Let's thank some patrons. Get the fuck out of here, shall we? We have our associate producers, Andy, Sindra, Anthony, Ejor, Jacob, Aladoris, Octothorctopus. I don't even stumble on that anymore. Captive Goat, Sofsky, Heiner, and Sleep Coma. We have our executive producers on up. Would you like to do the honors, Trevor?
Lance Good Thrust.
Good enough for me. Blaze Storm, value member of the Patreon. Diana the Green Cosplayer. John, Charlie, our Possum supporter, the Delusian Data Analyst, and our Chargers Chamber of Charcoal members, Trevor Baker. No, not that one. Thank you so much for supporting us and supporting the show. It was greatly appreciated. Matt, you're welcome to come on whenever, buddy. The Jackals working back up to it. Brandon, again, welcome whenever you want to. Same thing with Aldorte. And then next week in the hot seat will be our ceiling fan, Polish guy Rich. I can't wait to he's gonna do something stupid. I guarantee it. It's gonna be something stupid. It's gonna be, but you know what? I'm here for it. Like he wants to do that. I want to support him in his endeavors. If you want to become a member of our Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/fleshandpod. Links in the show notes. Pick a fucking tier. I really don't care. Eventually we'll start doing stuff again in the After Dark channels and actually finding time. Like I'm not traveling for a couple months. So that'll be nice. Maybe I can actually squeeze something in, but do not expect anything in June or July because those months are fucking off limits. I will not be in my house for more than 3 days at a time. If you need to contact us, you can send us an email at fleshandpod@gmail.com. You can find us on BlueSky. Just search fleshandpod. The best thing to do, though, is to just do what I said before. Join the fucking Discord. It's free. Just click the link. Then you can go to Chocolates with Charmer and see the picture that made me audibly laugh on air. Don't have to be a member of anything. Just click the link and come hang out. Trevor, where can they find you?
So you can find me very easily in the Flesh and Pod Discord under Vintox18. I also will take the opportunity to plug my online store. As you know, I and a couple buddies buy and sell cards on TCG Player. Rip lots of stuff on most new sets. And our website URL is tabletoptreasures.tcgplayerpro.com. So you can find anything that we have. I ship all over the U.S. Have routinely ran into people that got stuff from us. So we are a pro seller. I'm very proud of that. We also run events locally. And I think we're trying to set up a Sage event coming up here soon.
Yep. Darick, where can they find you?
In the Kayfabe with KO, in the Chuckles with Charmer, in the Discord. That's the best place to find me. I mean, you can find me on social media, but I use it less and less with each passing day, mostly because looking outside makes me sad.
Yeah.
And that says a lot when I
get more sad.
That's something.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it. All right, everybody. Well, that's our show for this week. Again, thank you so much, Trevor, for joining us and coming and hanging out. It's been a pleasure. And yeah, we'll chat. Nice. Me look. Yeah. Me look.
Yeah.
We'll make you an orbologist yet.
Did you know there's a secret orbology Discord?
It doesn't surprise me. But I'm in it. I did go to the crow party. It was yesterday, but it's also tomorrow. Are you going to? I know you went to the crow party. But again, thanks everybody for listening. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.